director of regional sales over our western states. He was the first baseman on his high school baseball team in Blackfoot, Idaho. Please give a huge round of applause to Doug Moss.
Okay guys, so what I get to do today is I get to walk you through the elite program, okay? So this is going to be the nitty gritty, the down and dirty. We're going to walk through how you get to elite. Now the objective of this is if you don't believe you can do it, I want you to leave this meeting today thinking that you can and knowing that you can, okay? First things first, it's not complicated. And we're going to help you break it down so that you can understand exactly how the program works. First thing I want to cover with you is the benefits of being elite. Now, there's lots of things that we do with recognition. We take care of you at Summit. You get jackets. You get all kinds of recognition. You're first to register for the Success Club trip, leadership retreat. So there's many reasons why you would want to be elite or be benefited if you hit elite. The one that I like the best is the express line at the core. I mean, I would literally hit elite just for that, but that's just me. But I want to talk to you about why elite. Because to me, as we go out and travel and we meet with lots of coaches and we get to spend time helping coaches set goals and helping them define how they're going to get there, I really believe that the elite program helps you learn the basics of being a successful coach. It isn't any more complicated than that. Whether you're an Emerald or you're a 15-star, the basic activities really are the same. It also helps you align your daily, weekly, and monthly goals. We've got the Elite Goal Guide. We are going to pass that out at lunch today, so you've got a copy of it. I am going to go through it today as well and help you guys kind of see and understand how that document works. And then the last point is that leaders go first. I want you to understand that we want you to achieve the goal of elite, and we have several of you that have already done that and have accomplished and become elite coaches in the year, and you're here at the New Leader Conference. But I want you to understand that elite, yes, it's your goal. You need to get there. But I really believe in the second year, your goal is to hit elite again, and now it's to bring along with you personally sponsored elite coaches. Because Arnaud is going to talk about residual income, and we're going to talk about how you build a stable and solid business. I mean, see what would happen if you built a personally sponsored elite coach on your weak leg and what that would do for your volume. Okay, so let's dive in. Basic activities of an elite coach. The first one is they hit Success Club, not rocket science. The second one is they sign coaches. Now, I'll go back. They hit Success Club through signing customers and coaches. It's not just about coaches. We are the vital process. We do believe that you bring people into the vital process, and we know if they'll start as a customer, get a transformation, and then become a coach, we know that those are the best coaches. The third thing is they duplicate themselves and they figure out how to get their coaches to hit Success Club. Now, I can tell you that I work with top coaches, and I can tell you that when I meet with them, these are the same things we discuss. I can tell you that these three activities are, whether you're a new coach or you're a 15-star, it really doesn't matter. It's the same thing. And what's interesting is you're going to get confidence in these three activities in that order. You're going to get good at hitting Success Club before you get good at signing coaches. And you're going to get good at signing coaches before you get good at getting your coaches to hit Success Club. But the reason I draw it this way is because the elite program is where these three bubbles collide. In the middle, that's elite. Because we're going to get into it, and I'm going to explain to you how you get points for elite, but I want you to understand that elite's kind of that sweet spot in the middle. Each of the categories have caps, and there's maximums and there's minimums in each category, so you've got to get good at getting points in all three categories. Really, all four categories, including ATV. But I want you to also know that the Premier program requires the same three activities, the difference being there are no caps on where the points come from. So now Premier comes from any combination of the activities as we get into the points. So let's dive into where do the elite points come from and how do you hit elite. First things first, you've got to be a 5-star diamond to be elite, and you've got to be a 2-star diamond in order to be Premier. Okay, the 5-star diamond has to happen, or you have to be an active diamond in December of 2017. Same with Premier. You have to build 2 new personally sponsored diamonds during the course of the year, and those diamonds have to be active in December as well. Now, if you're sitting here at anything less than a 3-star, then essentially those 2 things are the same thing, right? So right now, if you're less than a 3-star in this room, you need to be a 5-star. So there's one criteria you guys need to come up with. The next one is you have to come up with 135 elite points. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the 135 to be elite have to come from a balanced approach to each of the elite categories, as opposed to Premier, where they can come from any combination. But I'm going to walk through this so that we help you understand where elite points come from. And I want you to get it. So let's kind of dive in. So Success Club. The way you get elite points in the Success Club category come from your 2016 and 2017 personal coaches. When they hit Success Club, you get an elite point. When you hit Success Club, we double it. Okay? So if I had a coach that I recruited and signed up in April of last year, and in January they hit Success Club, and then I had another coach I signed in October of last year, and in January they also hit Success Club. So I had 2 coaches from last year that hit Success Club in January. When I hit Success Club, I double it. I have 4 elite points in that category. Okay? The next category is PSPV. It's called Personally Sponsored Personal Volume. This comes from coaches you recruit in 2017. Okay, when you bring them in as a coach, they bought a challenge pack, for example, and that produced volume. Coaches also produce volume by selling product to challengers. And when they sell to a challenger, that also produces volume. Okay, so every time the coaches you recruit generate a combined 500 PV, you get an elite point. So that might confuse you a little. So let's say that in January I signed 3 coaches, and those 3 coaches each bought a challenge pack. None of them sold anything. They bought the all access. So that's 180 for each one of them, 180 PV. That's 540, 540. I would have 500 points, so therefore I would get 1 elite point in this category. Okay? So that's how I generate PSPV elite points. And I'm going to walk you through on the Elite Goal Guide how that all lays out. The new category is CPV. This is called Customer Personal Volume. So customers do not sell, customers buy. And when a customer buys a challenge pack, they produce volume. This is new. We've never given coaches points or recognition on this side of the table. So this is awesome. This is really about now, how do you, if you sell to customers and you get them in the vital process, we're going to give you credit for that. And if you can retain your customers, they'll continue to produce CPV for you. So now retention is also something that you need to be aware of and be working with your customers that are on HD. Okay, and the 4th category is ATV. The ATV category is a combined of your personals, their personals, and their personals. Okay? The way you get points in this category is this is an incremental increase, meaning that I take whatever you ended up in ATV in 2016, and I have to grow that number. And if I can grow it every time I increase it by 10,000, I get 1 elite point. Okay? So it's the incremental increase over the previous year. And I'm going to dive into that as we get into the Elite Goal Guide. So here's the thing you need to understand. Each of these categories have maximums and minimums. But I don't want you to overcomplicate this. What we do on the sales team when we meet with coaches, we like to give them kind of the best, easiest path to get there. Okay? The easiest way to get there, or the most common goal that coaches will set, is based on this. In the CPV category, your goal is to max that category. Can I get 25 points in this category? The PSPV category, can I get 50 points in this category? SC, 50 points. And then ATV, I just shoot for the minimum. Hopefully I'll get more points in that category. I mean, I'm not like I'm going to stop growing, but I got to get 10 points. Meaning I have to incrementally grow by 100,000 in ATV. Make sense? We're good? Okay, so if you look at that, sorry I clicked ahead too quickly, but essentially you're trying to get to that 135. So I want you to understand, one more, there we go. It didn't bring it up. The little bubble is gone, but that's okay, we can move forward. Okay, there it is. So the 135 is the goal number. That's what I need in order to be an elite coach. So if you've got 2 personally sponsored coaches from last year that hit Success Club in January, and they hit it in February, and let's just say they hit it all year, well then those 2, and I'm going to hit Success Club, that would be worth 4 elite points. And if I did that all month, I would have 48 elite points in the SC category, and I'm a third of the way to elite, right? I mean, I'm 50 of my 135. And I want you guys to understand that, because it's a way for you to really break this down so that you can see where these numbers are coming from. So let's look at the Elite Goal Guide. Okay? The Elite Goal Guide really does help you plan, help you track, help you set the goals literally by month so that you can figure out how you're going to get there. Okay? We're going to break this sheet down a little bit so that you see it, and then we're going to help you fill it out, and we're going to give you a copy of it actually at lunch. So the first thing is it has a month-by-month Success Club points planning, month-by-month PSPV, month-by-month CPV, and then it gives you the way to calculate your ATV. Okay? And then when you combine all that together, it shows you where you're projected to end 2017. Now your ATV number, just so you know, you'll have to get your 2016 ATV from your Elite report that you received on the second Friday of February. Okay? So let's dive in really quick to the Elite Goal Guide in the detail of the SC category. So this is the Success Club category. The way we've described it, if in January I had 1 personally sponsored coach that I either enrolled in 2016 or 17, hit Success Club, and I hit Success Club, I would end up with 2 points in that category. And you can see that as I went throughout the year, these are the numbers that I achieved, totaling that I signed 31 coaches at the end of the year. I hit Success Club all year. I ended up with 62 points. I'm capped at 50. I've got my 50 points in this category. You should know that in 2016, this category's cap was at 61. So we've brought this category down a little bit because we introduced the customer category. So let's take a look at PSPV. So now this one, I'll give you kind of the detail and a little bit of the secret with this category. So this one shows that, hey, I'm signing 2 coaches a month, and if those 2 coaches produce 500 in volume incrementally each month, then I'm going to get 1 point in January, 2 points in February, 3 points in March, and so on. Well, yeah, that would get me to 78. The problem with this is they all had to stay in order to get those numbers. They all had to produce 500, and that had to work. The secret with this category really is you need to be recruiting coaches earlier in the year. If you signed me as a coach in January, I would count towards this category for you for 12 months. If you signed me as a coach in December, I would count for 1 month. So that's why January, February, March, April are really important recruiting months if you're going for elite. Because the coaches that you recruit early in the year are going to build PSPV volume for you throughout the entire year. Okay? The third category is the customer category. This category, the points again, are coming from customers that are new customers that you've sold challenge packs or product to in 2017, and it's their first time purchase. And when you sell these customers, they produce volume, same as PSPV. That as they purchase volume, every time it adds to 500, I get an elite point. Now, if you remember, the maximum on this category is 25. So it's half of the PSPV category, essentially because customers do not sell, they buy, right? So they're only able to produce volume through their purchases. But if you can have your customers stay on and you retain them as customers, and the longer they stay, the longer this is going to build these points for the CPV category. Okay? You'll notice on this one the minimum is 5 points. Well, why is that important? Because if your ATV does happen to get to 15 or 20 or 30, then that will offset these other categories. So you could actually be lower in one category if your ATV was higher than 10. Okay, ATV. In this example, I ended 2016 with 40,000 in this category, and I grew and I got 200,000 at the end of the year. So I ended with 160,000. That gets me 16 elite points in this category. Okay? The goal was 10. I hit my minimum, but now I have 6 points that'll help offset any of the other categories if I happen to need them. Make sense? Okay, good. So just to quickly debrief. 2017 Elite Program, I got to be a 5-star. I got to build 2 new PS Diamonds in 2017. I got to get 135 Elite points. The minimums and maximums are listed. If I'm going for Premier, it's the same thing. The difference is there's no minimums, no maximums, and I got to be a 2-star. So I want to explain really quickly the ranking of our elite coaches. And you'll see that this changed this year. In the past, it was the combined total of our PSPV and our SC categories, meaning to be elite, they were capped. But then after that, we would take the uncapped totals, add them together, and whoever had the highest, that's how we ranked the elite coaches. Well, this year, we changed that a little bit. But first, let me tell you why ranking matters. The reason elite ranking matters is the top 200 elite coaches get an additional bonus. Well, all elite coaches get an additional $100 a month. If you're in the top 200, you get an additional $400 per month. And there are some things you have to do next year in order to qualify each month for that bonus. But just understand that as a top 200 elite coach, there's an additional $500 bonus available to you. And then there's the Elite 10, right? Once in a lifetime trip, things like that. So let's talk about how you get ranked. The elite ranking is that combined SC, PSPV, and now we've added CPV. And then what we did is we said, you know what, let's recognize coaches who are hitting, like Michael talked about, the leadership ladder. Let's talk about coaches that are helping their coaches advance in the Star Diamond ranks. And so we really wanted to say, man, what if a coach builds a diamond from diamond to 1-star? We're going to give you 25 elite points towards the ranking. Now those don't count towards your 135, but they do count towards your ranking. So now we've got coaches focused on not only advancing themselves, but working with their team and helping their coaches advance in the Star Diamond ranks. So if I have a coach that advances from diamond to 1-star, to 2-star, to 3-star, to 4-star, to 5-star, I get 125 points that goes into the ranking for me on my elite ranking. Now along the way, that coach hit team leader. Well, that's an additional 25 elite ranking points. So I could, off of one coach that goes from diamond to 5-star, I could end up with 150 points in the elite ranking. Okay? And this is exciting because this is really having your upline want you to succeed in a way that they've never been motivated to spend time and to nurture you and to help you guys accomplish your goals. Now, I will tell you, if you are able to become an elite coach, it's a very exciting day at the sales office. Because what we get to do is at the first of every single year, we get to call out the new elite coaches. And so I would tell you that we want you to understand that, number one, you can be elite. You need to say, I can do this. You need to make the plan of how you're going to get to elite. And if you do, then we will be calling you as an elite coach. So take a look at this.
Jeff and I have been waiting all morning to make calls. And finally, we came to a conclusion. 2 years in a row as Elite 10. Way to go, Brittany.
Why do you do this to me, guys? Like, everybody likes to see me cry.
You did it. You and your team did it.
I did it!
I love it.
Like, I'm not even a crying person, but this means so much to me this year. It means so much for all of us.
It means that amongst the craziness, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve if you put your mind to it. Crazy kids.
What's it take to be an elite coach?
Heart, lots of heart, a lot of hustle, and teamwork. Also, I wouldn't be here without my team.
Consistency, and not pushing people. Just love them. That is my best advice.
Passion, growth, and leadership.
Self-belief and high-speed, never give up.
Giving, sacrifice, and intentional.
If you have the hustle and the heart, you can do whatever you set out to do. There's nothing stopping you. The only thing that can stop you is yourself.
Was a one-star diamond, dropped rank in the middle of the year right after Summit. I had a life-shattering event happen to me, and I took it all the way back up to 5-star, and it's all because my team was behind me and we did it together, and anything is possible if you have a dream and you believe you can do it.
A 4-time Elite 10 coach, number 3 in the entire network. That's pretty rare air, so congratulations, Phoebe.
Hi, I'm Kate Jaruzelski.
And I'm Deidre Fragel.
We are sisters.
We are both 2017 2-time Elite Coach Daily.
Woo! We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it!
This is the first time ever 3-time top coach of the year.
I don't have words. I really don't. I'm very honored. I'm very proud. I can't think of a better place to be in a business that has just changed my personal life, my family life forever in such a positive way. I mean, it's incredible. I'm just very blessed.
Awesome. And I can tell you that is absolutely the best thing. But let me close by saying this. Like Melanie in the video, I believe in Beachbody.
We love you, Dad.
Because I believe in Beachbody because I'm that guy that needs challenge groups. I'm that guy that needs nutrition plans, right? I'm the one who needs peer support. I can tell you guys that I've sat on the airplane and had to ring the flight attendant call button to ask for a seatbelt extender. I've sat on the airplane and not fit. I mean, I've stood in line at Disneyland to get to the front of the line and not fit on a ride. And you guys have to know that's what's cool about Beachbody, is you are literally changing people's lives. And it's not just a comp plan, and it's not just, whatever, elite and all this other stuff. It's about helping people. And you guys have got to know that's the root of it all. I can stand up here and talk about elite, and I can tell you how to get the numbers. But if you're not genuinely interested in helping people, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get it done. Okay? We talked about it. We had to come up with one word. This idea from Craig. What's my one word? I think my one word is blessed. Because I feel blessed to be a part of a company that has people like you that are out there doing this and helping others. I feel blessed to be a part of a team that I love to work with people that absolutely hold me accountable, and it's fun to go to work every day. And I feel blessed to work with coaches like you guys, that when I go out on the road, you guys are out there, you're doing the struggle, you're getting it done, and you're figuring out how this business can work for you. And I hope if you take anything away, you can do this. I can walk you through the elite numbers, I can explain it to you one step at a time. It's the basics. It's hit Success Club, sign coaches, and get your coaches to hit Success Club. You've got to get good at those 3 things. And if you're genuinely interested in helping people, you guys can do this. Thank you.